Growing up in Wangaratta, my parents taught me a lot of things that still guide me today. One thing they taught me was the importance of hard work. I can see my dad now working 7 days a week loading and driving trucks so that my sister and I could have an education that wasn't an option for him. I remember my mum, the rock in our family, supporting my dad and juggling both the care of my sister and I and working as a teller at the Commonwealth Bank in town. They also taught me the importance of always looking out for others, to be involved, to make a contribution. As hard as he was working, my dad somehow found time to be president of the local footy club, and Mum was always helping by being active at school and in the parish. They also taught me that no one should ever feel that they're on their own, because we all pay a price whenever someone is abandoned. The other important thing they taught me was to always stand up for the things you believe in. And these are the lessons that Kath and I are teaching our 3 kids. We want Noah, Grace and Joseph to reach their full potential, to have everything we've had and more. I think that's what every Victorian wants for their children. The choices governments make are central to this. When governments, like the current one, are all about cuts, all about cutting the things that matter most, people suffer. Their hopes and their dreams for the future are put at risk, and they're essentially abandoned. I've visited nearly every community in this state and I've never seen one that was better off because of cuts to services. And that's the only thing that Denis Napthine and Tony Abbott have delivered. Cutbacks that hurt all of us. At a time like right now, why would you ever cut TAFE? But the Liberals have been busy cutting TAFE courses and closing campuses and closing off options for a generation of young Victorians. I'm going to put this right, because jobs start with skills. And speaking of jobs, under the Liberals, 62,000 more Victorians have become unemployed. That's enough to fill Etihad Stadium. 4 more years of Denis Napthine, Tony Abbott and the Liberals, and who knows where we'll end up. Every job is worth fighting for. Every job is about dignity and purpose and prosperity. Liberal cuts have hurt our schools too. They've made cuts to reading recovery. They've made cuts to healthy meals and other support for the most disadvantaged kids. These programs work. I know this personally. One of my own children benefited from the reading recovery program, and he's doing great. We should be expanding these programs, not cutting them. And what's more, Abbott and Napthine have cut hospitals too. Ambulances take longer to arrive than ever before, and people are dying. I'll end the war on our paramedics and I'll work with them to improve the services that matter most. I'll work with them to save the minutes that save lives. The Liberals have also cut support for our firefighters. They haven't recruited and they've failed to protect the people who protect us. These are the things that are most important. These are the things that matter. And I've got the common sense plans and the energy to put this right in these areas and so much more. When it comes to public transport, they tell us we've never had it so good, but commuters know better. Skipping stations and then bragging and boasting won't get people home to their family faster. Only hard work and Labor's Project 10,000 will achieve that. I'm going to improve the roads you drive every day in the suburbs and in the regions. Get rid of the level crossings you sit at every day. And also make sure people get home safe at night. We will build a better public transport system. When I think back to my parents telling me to stand up for what I believe in, I believe in this great state there are some things we can't settle for. Family violence is a national emergency. The biggest law and order issue in our state is unfolding inside our homes. And last year, it claimed 43 lives. It's the leading contributor to death, injury and disability in Australian women under the age of 45. I've sat with Rosie Batty and heard her story. We have to be as courageous as she's been. We have to acknowledge and admit the system is broken. That's why an Andrews Labor government will introduce the first Royal Commission into family violence in Australia, because I know more of the same policy will mean more of the same tragedy. One thing I've learned by speaking with people in every community is that Victorians don't want handouts, but they don't want to be abandoned either. From the smallest child to our grandparents, from a worker who needs to reskill to young adults just about to embark on a working life. Nothing's more important than hard work and understanding the things that matter to people. These are the things my parents taught me, the things I still carry with me today. And my parents remain an inspiration to me. Supporting people, empowering people, looking after one another and putting people first. They're not slogans or simply words. They're real. They're all too real. And I've been reminded of that this year. In July, we celebrated Dad's 64th birthday. It was special. Just a few weeks earlier, they found a rare and incurable cancer. It knocked our family about. We all go through something like this, and maybe we forget. Maybe Mr. Napthine forgets. But the health budget isn't just numbers. It's real lives. It's how long we wait in emergency. It's how long we wait for surgery. Maybe we wait years with a painful hip that stops us working. It's how long we wait for an ambulance. Make no mistake, make no excuses. Cutting the health budget costs lives. Yes, it costs lives. And that's why I will never cut hospital funding. I can't look at something this important as a politician. I have to look at it as a dad, a son, a husband. That's why whatever else I do if I become Premier, I'll never cut the things that families rely on. Victorians need a Premier who will put good jobs, good schools and good hospitals first. That's why I'm determined that an Andrews Labor government will be all about putting people first.
Authorised by Anne Carroll for the Australian Labor Party Docklands.